Hey, my name is Caden. I donated a kidney to my friend's little sister just under a year and a half ago. Prior to donation, I had never met Katie. I was friends with her older sister through college, so it was kind of scary donating to essentially complete stranger. But since we went through this whole process together, she's become really like a little sister to me. Um, at the time of surgery, she was 15. She just turned 17. So it's been fun to kind of watch her mature. She's like this goofy kid. Um, but she's really been through a lot and she carries it so well. I really admire her, even though she's kind of goofy. She's mature beyond her years, and it's been really fun to watch her grow into the young woman she is. Through all these challenges, she's always made the best of it. So it's she's just a really admirable person. Prior to my recipient getting sick, like I had never really thought about kidney disease. It's like such a chronic issue, so prevalent in our society. But when my friend came over to my apartment one day, and kind of told me what had happened with her sister. It was a freak event. There were really no warning signs that were obvious. Doctors were kind of baffled at first. Um, I kind of like dug into it a little bit and immediately thought like, this is my chance. Like I was in a gap year between medical school. I was just working as a CNA in a hospital. So I thought, like I'm young, I'm healthy. I can help somebody overcome this chronic disease, give them a better quality of life. And ever since that day, I guess I kind of made up my mind to donate. And now kidney disease, now that I've experienced it personally, I see that it's all around us, and I just see the huge impact on individual lives, quality of life, and society that this condition brings. When I learned what kidney failure would mean for Katie, I felt like she was kind of being robbed of her teenage years. Like the precipitating event when she found out she had kidney failure or was in kidney failure and adrenal disease, she was 14. And as a 14-year-old, she should be going to school dances and enjoying high school and eventually learning how to drive and going to movies with friends and doing all these fun things that being on peritoneal dialysis really kind of inhibited. She was not getting good quality sleep. She was uncomfortable. She was in pain. So when I learned of like all these challenges she was going to be facing, I just felt like there was something I needed to do to, as an outsider, try to help her out or get her in a condition where she could like experience these pivotal times in her life and really enjoy and benefit from being a teenager and making mistakes and having fun with friends. When I learned about kidney disease and its treatment options, I was really surprised at how limiting they were. They're limiting for the recipient, Katie, people with chronic renal disease. And I was also surprised how limited the options were. Like, there's really not a good option. You're either on peritoneal dialysis, hemodialysis, or you're getting a transplant. And transplant obviously offers the best quality of life. So it really was surprising to see that even though this is such a prevalent thing in society, there really aren't a ton of terrific options to give people their lives back after a diagnosis of end-stage renal disease. So I ultimately decided to donate kidney because I just wanted to give Katie her quality of life back. I really felt I was in a perfect time in my life where I could do this. Like I said before, I'm young, I'm healthy. I was in a gap year between or going to medical school and graduating from undergrad, so I was kind of just hanging out, living life, and I knew that I would really never have another opportunity to do something like this and make an impact in this way. So it really was um, a no-brainer to do this. People always ask like, why did you do it? And I mean, I guess I don't really know that answer either. It just really felt like something that I was like, it was fate. I just had to do it. So it was a really cool experience. So my family, for some reason, I guess they didn't really worry about the surgery. My dad probably worried the most, and I didn't tell him until just 2 weeks before surgery, even though the workup process was months. They did have like worries and concerns, like what if I have a younger brother? What if he needs a kidney? What if my parents need a kidney? Future children or spouse need a kidney? But I just help them understand that we can't live our life living with what ifs. We just need to do what we know what's happening in the moment, and when and if the what ifs come to happen, you just have to cross that bridge when you get there. And I think that really helped them understand that I had thought about this process, I had made my decision, and they had to accept it because there was no changing my mind. So honestly, the process, this process, it got hard to scary for me when, and it never really got hard, and it never really got scary. Um, it they rolled me into the OR and they asked me like one more time before surgery, before they like put me under anesthesia, like, are you sure you want to do this? And there was never a second thought in my head. Like, I was not concerned. I knew that this was going to be okay. I was going to come out on the other end okay. I hoped. I want to say I knew that Katie was going to be good, and I just knew that the healthcare team was on my side, and that if anything would have been dangerous to me outside of the normal surgery risks, that they would have not done the surgery. So I guess that is what helped me get through the workup process and surgery itself, and really maintain some confidence in their ability and my decision. So kind of going off the last thing, as I was being rolled to the operating room, I thought this is it. This is what we've been working for so many months, and this is finally what's going to get Katie back to living her life the way she should be after some recovery time, of course. And I just felt really like confident. I felt at peace. I felt ready for whatever was going to happen, and I really didn't have any doubts or fears about the surgery not being successful. Obviously, they, on my way into the operating room, they had said like, "Oh, like this could happen, this could happen, this could happen," and kind of all the worst case scenarios. But I just brushed them off, kind of, I guess, and I felt ready and confident and happy. I felt happy, which is kind of a weird thing to say before going to a major surgery. The best moment after surgery is kind of a hard moment. I guess Katie had some complications in her surgery. A portion of my kidney wasn't perfusing in her body. So when her parents came back to my recovery room, it, hearing that she was out of surgery and everything was working well, that was like a super great moment. Another really good moment was my hospital was just like it was connected to her hospital by a little tunnel underground. So being able to walk, I walked myself over there with my family and Katie's family after surgery. 2 or 3 days after, I don't remember how long it was. Maybe I think it was two. And like seeing her laying in her bed, all hooked up, but still with like a smile on her face and just like the same goofy girl that I had come to know, was another really good moment. And finally, um, seeing her board, her like goal board in her room. The goal for the day was like to finally eat some salty tater tots. She loves tater tots, and she had been restricted for so long with her diet because of the kidney disease. So that was just something that I thought was funny. And through all this, her personality stayed, and her preferences for salty foods stayed. So that was heartwarming and a really good moment. It made me laugh. So my recovery was 8 weeks in total off of work. I was a CNA, like I've said a few times, so it involved like a lot of heavy lifting, rolling of patients. So they wanted me to be off work for 8 weeks, just so that I didn't like tear any muscles as they were recovering or get a hernia. I spent surgeries on a Wednesday and left the hospital on a Sunday, so 5 days, 4 or 5 days in the hospital. I recovered at my parents' house. I was living in like my college town in Madison, Wisconsin. So I recovered there for a few weeks. Drove back and forth once I was feeling better. Just kind of give a little break from the parents. And I would say, well, I had a little setback. I was readmitted to the hospital. My incision in my belly ripped open. I got an infection, so I spent another few days in the hospital. But after they cleaned that out and stitched me back up, I was good to go. I would say I was feeling like a little more tired, fatigued after like a busy day for maybe another 4 weeks after that. So 12 weeks in total, and I was back to my normal self, exercising, going to work, living a normal life. That so through this process, really what I learned about myself and others is like we should just be there to support one another, and even like I mean, nobody has to give an organ to support somebody else, but just like words of encouragement or getting the word out about organ donation or any whatever people are experiencing in life. Um, People really are more willing than you would think to come out and like speak for a cause and um, I don't know. In the U.S., we live in such an individualistic society. I feel like what I did really learn about myself and others is we really are a community, and like the bonds and social capital is such a real thing, and it's really important to have the ability and the support of those around you. And I guess what I learned is people are definitely willing to give that support. After donating my kidney, my health and life really haven't changed too much in terms of like implications from the surgery. I like to exercise. I'm a runner. I like to run. Can really do anything that I did before. My life has changed a lot. I have a whole new family. I have a little sister. Katie, my recipient, has a twin. My best friend from college. Her parents, her grandparents, they're all a second family. So my life has definitely changed for the better. My social network has grown. My family has grown. And now I have this awesome story I can tell and use to promote like a great cause. So life has changed definitely for the better, but and I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. Looking back on this whole process, I really do think the best thing about donating kidney was just gaining the family. Like I had said earlier, Katie really is like a little sister to me. Her family has become my family. Um, like I just said, I wouldn't change a thing about the whole experience. Katie, now with COVID, it's a little different. She's immunocompromised, so she isn't living the ideal life. But at least she's off dialysis. And I think that just knowing that she has some autonomy, some control over her life again, and will have that control once this pandemic mess goes away, really is the best part of donating my kidney. The best advice I'd give someone else who's thinking about being a living donor is like it's normal to be afraid. It's normal to have worries and second thoughts, but just get your name out there, go through the work, start the workup, and talk with the healthcare team. They're not going to, like I said earlier, they're not going to do something that's going to put you at risk. So if you're thinking about it, if you have a loved one or even for a stranger, which is kind of what I did, it's worth it. It's an incredible experience. You have this connection with somebody, and you know you really did alter the course of someone's life. And I don't like when people say this about my donation, but like you really did save somebody's life in like the most meaningful way possible. So the fears, the worry, everything is very valid. But once it's all over, like the feeling of gratitude you have for like our healthcare system and the the feeling of connectedness you have with another person and knowing you gave like a biological part of yourself to improve the life of somebody else is just a feeling unlike anything else. So the advice I give is just go for it, proceed, get your name out there, and even if you change your mind, which is something you can always do at any time, um, you did what you could, and you can always get involved in other ways. So I guess that's the advice too: is just get involved, treat everybody as equals. Doesn't matter like the color of their skin, their religion, their sexual orientation, where they come from, the money they have. We're all humans, and we just need to remember that. Um, there are a ton of good resources on this website from UCLA for kidney donation and just how to get words out. So if you have any questions, contact them. Thanks.